Hey everybody, welcome back to Reggie's Cooked into Life Lessons. Today I have something fantastic for you. I think that you'll enjoy. I think that it's something that the children will enjoy eating and let's get started. It's what we're going to be fixing is barbecued chicken corn dogs. Kids love corn dogs. You love corn dogs, so this is going to be great. Then some of the ingredients are shredded chicken, barbecue sauce, flour, cornmeal, sugar, baking powder, salt, pepper, and of course eggs and milk. So that's something we know we're going to need. Plus, for the life lessons, I want to talk about saving money today. I looked up some tips for saving money. I looked it up because of the fact that I'm just not a financial genius. Some of the things that are the tips I'm going to read about are things that I practice myself. And so since saving is something that we all need to do and something we all need to do to teach our children, I decided that I would read the tips as we move along in this cooked lessons. First, what I did was I took the chicken breast, because we're going to need to shred the chicken breast. We're going to need chicken breast, so I put them in the oven and baked them for half an hour, 45 minutes, so that they were cooked. But as you see, they are well seasoned. They're already seasoned, so that when we shred it up, just a few things I'm going to add that I like to do for taste. But before I even start shredding it, I'm going to read the first tip in how to save money. Again, I want to read them so that the experts, we're getting the advice from the experts, and this is something that we all will need and we can pass on to our children, a life lesson. Okay, let's start off with just the headlines. It's 8 simple ways to save money. Sometimes the hardest thing about saving money is just getting started. This step-by-step guideline for how to save money can help you develop a simple and realistic strategy so you can save for all your short and long-term saving goals. Number 1, record your expenses. The first step to start saving money is to figure out how much you spend. Keep track of all your expenses. That means every coffee, household item, and cash tips. That's a great idea. Once you have your data, organize the numbers to categories such as gas, groceries, mortgage, and total each amount. Use the credit card and bank statements to make sure you're accurate, and don't forget any. All right, so of course you're going to make a record of what you've been spending, and you can keep a track of that. So as that sinks in, we're going to take the chicken breast. This is chicken breast, like I said, it's well seasoned, and we're going to pull it apart. We're going to shred it. We're making barbecue chicken corn dogs. And again, to keep this stuff for the purpose of the show, I'm trying to make every meal stay under 30 minutes. So there is some of the meals will have prep, and this had the prep of cooking, baking the chicken in the oven. That's what I did. I baked it in the oven, the chicken breast in the oven. And I took and got a glass bowl so that when I'm doing my thing, you guys can see. And it's not really hard work or nothing like this to shred the chicken. And as you see, I'm using 2 forks to, pull it apart. Because that's what you do. And it smells delicious because of the fact that it's this chicken is well seasoned. And then I have some other stuff that I'm going to add into this to because I'm doing it to taste. You know, the folks that I will be serving in the house, they love the onions and the green peppers and the red peppers and yellow peppers in this kind of stuff. Oops. So that's one down. I think you should, for a family of 4, I think that 3 of these chicken breasts will serve the purpose. Alright, so I'm doing this, and I'm going to read tip number 2. Remember, tip number 1 was to make a record of the things, of your expenditures, and to be accurate for, you know, gas, mortgage, cell phone bills, and even when if you give tips to folks, keep an accurate account of that. And it says to use your bank statements to make sure, keep up with your accuracy. Okay, one more breast to do. Let me read step number 2. Budget for savings. Once you have an idea of what you spend in a month, you can begin to organize your records, expenses into a workable budget. Your budget should outline how your expenses measure up to your income, so you can plan your spending and limit overspending. Be sure to factor in expenses that occur regularly but not every month, such as car maintenance. And the tip for that is include a savings category. Aim to save 10 to 15% of your income. Oh yeah. So you have to budget for the savings. So you say, okay, I plan on saving so many dollars, but I know that I have to spend so much on my maintenance of my vehicle this month or something like that. But budget for your savings and know how much money you want to save and things like that. So that's definitely a great tip to do when you're saving money. I mentioned this before that I have a coin jar that I save money in. You know, when I empty my pockets at night, I throw my coins in. Now, who doesn't do that? And teach your kids to do that. You can teach it. That's a great trick. But I don't put my money underneath my mattress because there's no benefit of not drawing interest on the money that you want to save, long term, short term. You know how the old folks back in the day used to put their money underneath the mattress because they ain't trust banks and things like that. When you put your money in the bank, it's insured, and you know, only money that's not insured, I believe I already read, is the CDs and you know, those kind of money market funds, because they have risks. Okay, so I'm not going to add the other breast in. Maybe I will. Okay, I will. I'm gonna add this in since I cooked before. Look at this. Again, smelling fantastic, nice and seasoned. And as you see, it didn't take me 2 days to do it, even though it seems a little tough down in here, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm reading. If you were doing it at home, you wouldn't be reading the how to save money tips. Maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to move on to number 3. Number 3, find ways you can cut your spending. If your expenses are so high that you can't save as much as you would like, it might be a time to cut back. Identify non-essentials that you can spend less on, such as entertainment and dining out. Look for ways to save money on your fixed monthly expenses, like television and your cell phone too. Here are some ideas for trimming everyday expenses. Use resources such as community events listing to find free and low-cost events to reduce entertainment spending. Cancel subscriptions and memberships you don't use, especially if they renew automatically. Commit to eating out only once a month and trying places that fall into the cheap eats category. Give yourself a cooling off period. When tempted to buy a non-essential purchase, wait a few days. You may be glad you passed, or ready to save up for it. That sounds like a smart idea. That's a great idea. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking good. I've shredded this up. I'm going to shred it up a little more. Nice and shredded. Shred it up a little more because this does have a couple of steps for it, because this is going to have to go into the freezer for a couple hours. As I was saying, I'm pouring in the barbecue sauce. Now, I mix this stuff, what you say, to taste. So I got the barbecue sauce in here. Now, I'm going to add, you don't have to add this in, but I do. I'm going to add these diced up peppers. And some onions and garlic that I dropped in, like I said, to mix in here for taste. You know, some of your guests might not like onions, and you know that they don't like onions, so you don't put it into your ingredients. Now me, I know that the people in my household will eat the onions and the peppers. They'll, you just say, tear them up. Now, so we read up to number 3, and we read some tips for ways to cut your spending. Because if you're spending, keep finding out you're spending out of budget. Now, I put like a cup and a half in of the barbecue sauce, but I do want to add a little more. Again, all this stuff you fix into your taste, and that's what I'm doing, because I want it to be a little bit more moist, have a little bit more moisture. Oh, this is working out good because it puts me in great timing for what I want to do. Because I want to read, I have 8 tips to read, and I want to get 4 tips done. Now that I have this like that, I'll put this to the side. But you know what? I've been soaking some skewers in water so that they won't be all burnt up when I cook them. But here we take and we scoop the chicken. I'm gonna make rows out of this. Move this over here a little bit. I'm gonna make rows out of this. Now, when I make these rows like this, Then I'll stick a skewer into it. Maybe I'm gonna have to do this a different way. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do this a different way. I'll put some down and then, okay. That's good. Now, I'll take another skewer. Pat that down a little bit. Now I'll put the skewer in this way and put some on top, some chicken on top of that. Oh, it's not difficult, and like I said, when I fix these meals, so far the meals I have been fixing it hasn't been anything that I have fixed already. So we're going through this process together, and the proof is the fact that it can be done. We don't have to be gourmet chefs to get these meals together. And I am getting it together. Yes. Looks spicy too. Not spicy, but I should say bitey, because I see the green peppers and the red peppers. It smells, you can smell the barbecue, of course. It smells wonderful. Got some nice chunks of onions and some nice broken up pieces. So now, again, these are going to have to go into the freezer so they can stick together, so when they go into the cornmeal, it's already, there's no falling apart. So they'll be a little frozen. Oh, that looks fine. That looks fine. That looks fine. I don't want that to go off. All right, one more before I'm ready for the freezer. So far, so good. I know it's time consuming, but again, this is, I'm showing you how it's to be done. And let me get back to, I'm going to get on tip number 4 for the savings. The life lesson, and that life-saving money is a life lesson. Yes, this is what we want it to look like. So I'm going to read tip 4, and I'm separating, make sure these are separated. They're on the cookie sheet. When they freeze, they should be able to pull away real easy. Now, because once I put this in the freezer, after we let them stay in the freezer a couple hours, then we'll be putting together cornmeal. So now that we've done that and we read number 3, now let's go to tip number 4. Number 3 was finding ways to cut on your spending. And number 4 is subtitled Saving Goals. One of the best ways to save money is to set a goal. Start by thinking of what you might want to save for. Perhaps you're getting married, planning a vacation, or saving for retirement. Then figure out how much money you'll need and how long it might take to save it. Here are some examples of short-term and long-term goals. Short-term, 1 to 3 years. Emergency fund, 3 to 9 months of living expenses just in case. Pandemic. Vacation, down payment for a car. Long-term, 4+ years. Down payment on a home or a remodeling project. Your children's education, your child's education. Retirement. If you're saving for retirement or your child's education, consider putting that money into an investment account, such as an IRA or 529 plan. While investments come with risk and can lose money, they also create the opportunity for growth when the market grows, and could be appropriate if you plan for an event far in advance. See step number 6 for more details. Tips. Set a small, achievable short-term goal for something fun and big enough that you aren't likely to have that cash on hand to pay for, such as a new smartphone or holiday gifts. Reaching smaller goals and enjoying the fun reward you've saved for can give you a psychological boost that makes the payoff of saving more immediate and reinforces the habit. Yes, saving money. Saving money is important. That is one of our super goals. Super goals we should teach our children and that we should have for ourselves in life, because again, you never know when something might happen and you need some emergency money. Again, if your car is old and you know your car doesn't have much life left, so you start saving for a new car, while you're getting all you can get out of the old car. I love golfing, and sometimes some of the clubs can be expensive, but if I want that club and I put away and set that short-term goal to get that club, the reward of getting the club is outstanding. So right now we're going to stop it. Okay, welcome back everybody. First we're going to talk about how we got here, how we got to this point with these barbecue chicken corn dogs. Remember, the first thing we did was to bake the chicken breast for like a half an hour, 40 minutes. Then we put the chicken into the bowl. We took the forks and we pulled the chicken breast. We pulled the chicken breast apart so it was shredded. Then we poured in the barbecue sauce, and then we mixed the barbecue sauce. But for taste, I took and added a few things that I like. Like I added some onions, red onions, diced up red onions, and some red, yellow, and green peppers diced up with some garlic. So then, of course, we mixed the barbecue chicken into the bowl. We mixed it all together, and we put it on these cookie sheets, and we put the skewers in the chicken. We put the skewers in the chicken. Then we put them in the freezer for a couple hours, and voila, they're frozen to the stick. Now, where we're at now is we're going to mix the cornbread mix. Now, first we'll add the flour. We'll add the flour. We'll add cornmeal, and sugar, and the baking powder with salt. Has some salt in it. Now we're going to mix this up. Now, because I have so many, we're going to drop a couple of eggs into the mix. Drop a couple eggs in. And we're going to add like a cup and a half milk. Now we'll take and mix this stuff until we get our. And now I already turned the grease on in the fryer, the deep fryer, so that I can oh, looks like I need a little bit more milk in here, because I put a little extra because these are pretty big. Yep, so I can soften that up a little bit more. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oops. This is doing good. See that mixture, guys? See that mixture? Yes. Now, I got it just mixed just the way I need to have it. Now, I'm going to take the cup and pour this into here. I'm trying to hurry up because I hear this grease over here sizzling. See that here? And not to make a mess, I'm going to sit that in here. And then I'll take the first one, I'll dip it down into here. Oh, yes. And I'll drop this into the fryer. One. Ooh. I'm just going to leave those two in there first to make sure that the grease is hot enough. I'm going to put this to the side for a second, stick it back in the freezer. It's not going to be in here long, but now we'll continue to read our tips on how to save money. We stopped at 4. We read 1 through 4. Number 5 is decide on your priorities. After you have experienced expenses and income, your goals are likely to have the biggest impact on how you allocate your savings. Be sure to remember long-term goals. It's important that planning for retirement doesn't take a back seat to the shorter-term needs. A tip: learn how to prioritize your saving goals so you have a clear idea of where to start saving. For example, if you know you're going to need to replace your car in the near future, you could start putting money away for one now. I believe I mentioned that. So think about unexpected expenses if you, because you know that your car is going to die. So you take and start saving to buy a new car, so you get all the mileage you can get out of the car that you have now, and when it's about time to kill over, you can roll up into a dealership. Saving money is super important. Number 6, pick the right tools. If you're saving for short-term goals, consider using the FDIC insured deposit accounts, saving accounts, certificates of deposit, CDs, which locks in your money for a fixed period of time at a rate that is typically higher than savings accounts. For long-term goals, consider FDIC-insured individual retirement accounts, IRAs, which are tax-efficient savings accounts. Securities such as stocks or mutual funds. These investments products are available through investment accounts with a broker dealer. Remember that securities are not insured by the FDIC, are not deposits, and other obligations of banks are not guaranteed by a bank. They are subject to investment risk, including the possibility of loss of your principal. Number 6, make savings automatic. Almost all banks offer automatic transfers between your checking and saving accounts. You can choose when, how much, and where to transfer money, or even split your direct deposits so a portion of your every paycheck goes directly into your savings. Remember, I talked about like if the IRS, when they get their tax money, you don't worry about it because they already got it. So if you use automatic savings, you don't have to worry about when you get your paycheck whether you're going to put $30 away or $25 away. When it's automatically transferred, you don't have to worry about it. So it's nothing to worry about it. And as long as you don't see it, you don't miss it. But it's being saved. Number 8, watch your savings grow. Review your budget and check your progress every month. Not only will this help you stick to your personal savings plans, but it also helps you identify and fix problems quickly. Understanding how to save money may even inspire you to find more ways to save and hit your goals faster. You can't beat that. That, I think, is a great life lessons. Learning to save money. I'm going to read the subtitles on each category so that you might want to jot them down. But record your expenses. 1, budget for savings. Find ways you can cut on spending. Set saving goals. Number 5, decide on your priorities. Number 6, pick the right tools, whether you want to have CDs, IRAs, or automatic deposits and things like that. Make savings automatic is number 7. And number 8, watch your saving grow. Because that's the reward for saving the money. Being able to know that it's there in time of need, when you need it, and having it. You can buy things that you wanted, that you've been wanting. Big trip that you wanted. You know, not just shoes, because you have shoes. But if you know, a diamond ring, a diamond watch, something that you can pass on, the house, remodel, put the deck on the back. Just saving money is a crucial life lessons. So now we're going to check and see where we're at with this barbecue chicken corn dogs. Oh. They're still cooking. All right, so we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Well, here we go, folks. I don't think they might not be the prettiest corn dogs, but that is a corn dog, a barbecue chicken corn dog. Well, folks, don't forget the tips that we shared today. Remember, I read the tips, the 8 tips for saving money. That's very essential in a life lesson. Teach your kids, practice it yourself. Again, and we all learned how to cook barbecue chicken corn dogs. Like I said, I'm just a novice, and everything that I've cooked so far is recipes that I came across that I did the first time with you guys. Trust me, this is cornbread. I can feel it. That's cornbread. I see the look, and look at that meat up in there with those green peppers and red peppers. There you go. We're set. Reggie's Cooked into Life's Lessons. Thank you for spending your time with me. Think about those tips that we shared as the life lessons, and I'll see you on our next episode. Thank you for spending your time.